Whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm glad we did that vocal warm-up before we went live, you know?
You know.
Whoa, all right.
So let's go live in a few minutes here.
Okay, yeah, and if you...
You know, I know we're a little late, but, you know, fuck
You know,
the
let's
audience.
talk about this stupid fucking audience while we're not live.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh
I
my
hate how we
God.
have to pretend that we enjoy them.
I know, me too. It's
And
just like,
we have to pretend-
Nothing could be further from the truth. Like, I just revile them.
Oh, dude,
detest them.
like, revile is not even a... Like, there isn't a good enough word in the English language for how much I fucking despise... Dude, why is
shit.
it... Hey, everybody.
That was some good jokes there, Paul.
Stupid fuck, TJ. I didn't know we were...
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You
I
knew
know we were-
It was all part of our act.
Wow. How'd you guys like that little skit that we did right off the top of our heads, man?
That
Dude,
was
we
good
are a
shit.
creative duo. Look
clever,
at us.
very clever.
We're a pair of dynamos here.
Wow, man. How are we not the top channel on all of YouTube? I don't know.
No
I don't know, guys.
fucking clue with that kind of comedic timing, man.
It's fucking classic. All right, so I wanted to say something real quick at the beginning of this, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, please.
You know, I talked a lot of trash about Stephen King's It before it came out. And then when it did come out, me and Paul saw it, and we didn't like it. You know, we gave it a negative review. This is despite the fact that it was liked by critics, liked by audiences, huge box office hit, but we didn't like it. And so because of that, people are like, well, only reason you didn't like it is because you didn't want to eat crow, TJ. You just didn't want to eat crow. And so I know that if we give this a negative review, it's going to be the same thing, because this is the same situation. Huge box office hit so far, huge opening weekend. I think the 5th biggest opening weekend for a movie.
Of all time.
Yep, all time. Critics love it. Audiences love it. So what do we think?
Well, I mean, first of all, we should tell the people that we didn't actually see the movie.
Yes, that's true.
We were going to go see the movie, but on the way to the theater, we started thinking about how fucking inappropriate it would be for the two of us to take a seat that by all rights should go to a less privileged minority who deserves to see this movie that empowers them.
Yes.
So we went and found a couple of black guys and bought their tickets and sent them in, and this whole review is based on what they told us about the movie. So
Exactly, yes.
just wanted to clarify that for everybody.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it as if we were there.
Yes.
Just so it doesn't get confusing. But
Right.
in actual fact, we sent 2 black guys in our stead because we felt that they... So, okay.
So I do think it's worth mentioning that before we even got into the movie, there was a black family out front of the theater.
Yeah.
Dressed in, like, you know, African dashikis. I think that's what they're called. Those weird African shirts.
Yeah, I think so.
The whole family was in them, and they were taking a picture in front of the poster that you see behind us there.
Yeah.
So this is a real cultural thing, man. They got people dressing up in dashikis to come see this fucking movie.
Like, yeah, guys, we needed a fucking dashiki. Yeah, there was a black family, mom, dad, little boy out there taking pictures with the Black Panther poster. Like, this is a big cultural event, you know? So my kind of feeling when I saw that was like, you know, maybe this really is a more important film than I was giving it credit for. You know, this is obviously something that means a lot to people. But by the time I walked out of that movie, I was like, man, those people are fucking stupid.
Man, I'm glad I didn't put my dashiki on for this
I'll tell you
motherfucker.
what.
Because goddamn, if I would have had to dig out my dashiki, man, I'd be pissed.
I'm sorry, you know, like, the last thing I want is to have a bunch of bullshit of people coming to me like, only reason you didn't like it is because you didn't want to eat crow.
Yeah, somebody in the chat saying no, they weren't. Oh my god, yeah, no, I shit you not, dude. Like, I couldn't believe it was actually happening. Because I'd seen that shit, you know, on the news and stuff that people were kind of dressing up and doing great, but I didn't think I was going to see it here in Louisiana at some random theater. But sure enough.
Another thing is, when we walked into the theater, someone's like, yo, it's Paul and TJ.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of weird.
So if you're out there watching, hey, dude, what's up?
Hey, guy, how you doing, buddy?
But yeah, we got recognized in the theater.
Yeah, we were sitting right in front of someone who recognized us.
Yeah, he was there with his mom.
So, Streamlabs are on if you guys want to ask a question or something, but we're going to fucking just plow forward.
Yeah, a blanket spoiler alert throughout. Yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't give a fuck about spoilers for this bullshit.
Let me just make this a little smaller.
A little less obtrusive.
Maybe just ever so slightly.
There
less
we go.
obtrusive. I'm going to put it down here. I
Yeah,
guess.
that works.
I think that should.
That looks beautiful to me.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I really kind of wanted... I mean, like, I went into this movie expecting it to be mediocre, but kind of hoping it would be way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, some of the buzz that I'd heard was that, it had a good villain. I'd heard that a few places. So I was cautiously optimistic about, maybe getting a middling Marvel movie out of this.
Yeah, I kind of thought I was going to get something on the level of, like, Iron Man 2 or like Doctor Strange or something like that. And man, I gotta say, it's probably one of my, like, if it's not my least favorite Marvel movie, it's got to be close.
It's up there with the worst. Iron Man 3, and I don't know. I liked that better, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of
one that I would say is worse than this, and I'm really struggling. So maybe it is
the first Thor, maybe.
I mean, we didn't like Civil War, but I think even that was better.
Yeah, it had better action scenes and shit.
I mean, like, the biggest problem with this movie for me, I don't know if it was the biggest problem for you. The biggest problem with this movie for me is, man, it was so... And this is one of the weakest criticisms in a way, because there's not a lot you could say about it to justify it, but to me, it was just so unbelievably fucking boring.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could go into the reasons it was boring. I mean, I think primarily... For me, the main character, T'Challa, is really, really bland and uninteresting in a way that Marvel superheroes should not be.
He might be a black dude, but he's vanilla as fuck.
And I mean, it's not really his fault. It's just the movie is written that way. He's almost secondary to the film. There's so much else going on that he just... The scenes with him in it seem to drag and go nowhere. He doesn't have much charisma. He doesn't have any chemistry with any of the other people that are surrounding him in this film.
It's almost like Marvel thought, like, you know what? He's too important to make interesting. Like, he has to be this weighty, important character, so we can't give him any sort of, like, quirks. He can't wisecrack at all.
Yeah,
he can't have any fun at any point. He's got to be super serious.
Usually, when you get
boring,
dull. When you get these movies that have this, like, I'm the new king kind of royal abdication movies, the younger person is kind of impetuous and brash and not prepared to be king. But T'Challa is just ready to step in from the beginning. He's already very kingly. He's already, there's really no struggle for him in being the king. You don't really get that. It just seems like, all right, it's business as usual for him. He's just taken over Wakanda. And it just makes him uninteresting. It makes his whole journey from non-king to king completely pointless and meaningless. They should have just started it with him king. There's this whole, like, the first, 30, 40 minutes of the film are dedicated to us watching him become the king.
I mean, I honestly felt like, the beginning of the movie, the beginning 45 minutes to an hour of the movie just seemed like totally meandering. It didn't seem like the plot really kicked in until about halfway through the fucking movie. I wasn't even sure who the fucking villain was in the movie till like halfway through. And it wasn't like we needed this origin. I mean, he'd already been established in fucking Civil War. And his origin is not interesting enough to be its own movie. It's not like Batman Begins, where it's this interesting up and down kind of journey. It's just like, all right, he's going to be king. Let's watch him become king. There he's king. Now what? Now he gets into some shit. Okay, yeah. Cool.
And I mean, the shit that he gets into, like, this movie kind of cockblocks you in a way when it comes to the villain. It introduces Andy Serkis, who played Gollum, and I thought he did a really good job. He looked fucking buff in this movie for Gollum. When he did those movies, he was kind of a wiry, skinny little dude, and in this movie, he's got a neck like a fucking tree trunk. But he's kind of an interesting villain, like a South African mercenary type of guy. that's all about trying to steal. He's one of the few people in the world that even knows that Wakanda exists, and he's trying to steal their vibranium. He's got this cool arm that, like, his hand splits open and it's got a cannon in it.
Yeah.
Made from their technology. Kind of a cool villain. He was interesting, wisecracking, kind of, and he's not even really the villain. It's kind of a ruse. He gets killed pretty unceremoniously in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the film, and you're left with one of the worst villains in Marvel cinematic history, and that's saying something.
Yeah. Someone wants to know if I thought of Big Black Cock during the film. I didn't, actually. But
yeah, you'd think that you would, too.
No, I was too bored to think of anything interesting. I'm sorry.
Damn. But the actual villain of the film's name is Killmonger.
Killmonger.
And he's basically a dude. He's got a claim to the throne, but he grew up in America, so he never knew Wakanda at all. And he's an evil guy that's mad at the former king of Wakanda for killing his daddy. So his whole thing is, I want to go take over Wakanda. But he's like a kind of very stereotypical gangster type of guy. Yo, what up, Wakanda? Yo, king is in the motherfucking his nice bitches. It's pretty fucking annoying. Like, it just kind of, I don't know what to say about it, dude.
No,
like,
a white guy is
not
the main villain. That's the kind of the point.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're given this villain that's kind of interesting, and then it's like, nah, it's this dude over here. It's
all right, so
King Gangsta.
I want to talk about Wakanda for a second here.
Oh no, you better be careful, TJ. It's like a landmine field you're walking into.
I'm gonna explode anyway.
All right.
It doesn't matter. Wakanda. Okay, so it's supposed to be this super advanced African society. Technologically, it appears to be so. Yeah, they do call us the kings of obesity. Thanks. Technologically, Wakanda does appear to be an advanced society. However, in terms of their politics, they really don't seem to advance. Because the way they decide the king is, okay, it passes on along the order of succession, but representatives from any of the 4 tribes that make up Wakanda are allowed to put forth their own warrior to challenge the king or the would-be king in combat to see if, if they can claim the throne instead. So basically the idea is, whoever's the bestest fighter is also the bestest leader, which is fucking stupid.
I mean, Wakanda would have Mike Tyson as a king immediately if it existed. You know what I mean? Like, just like what would happen then? Like, yeah, he can beat anybody's fucking ass, but
oh, and you're not allowed to have the Black Panther powers.
Yeah, they strip you.
Yeah, you got to drink some magical depowered juice before you accept the challenge, okay?
And that's not the only problem with Wakanda.
Dude, that
either.
wasn't his name, lol. Okay, it was his title, whatever. Killmonger was they called him that several times.
That's his name. That's the name of that's his villain name is Killmonger. Yeah, I shit you fucking not.
He had some kind of other actual name, like.
In fact, fucking T'Challa, when he's trying to get the gorilla guy to join him, is like, Killmonger will destroy all of Wakanda. Like, they even, so it's not even just a thing they mention offhand. Like, they're trying to get him to be called Killmonger, so fuck off.
Killmonger. Thanks for the money, though.
Yeah, thank you for the $2. I appreciate it, but you're wrong.
You're wrong, sir. So I wasn't impressed with that. And not only that, not only are they allowed to challenge the king before he, accepts the fucking ceremonial "you're the king" beads.
But pretty much at any time during his reign, too.
Yeah, because the Killmonger is basically Black Panther's fucking cousin, okay? And he shows up in Wakanda and he's like, I have royal blood. I challenge you for the throne. So you could challenge the king at any time, provided that you have some sort of pedigree.
Like, wouldn't this just be an endless procession of challenges? Like, every day he has to fight a new dude?
How the fuck would a society that's based on combat to be leader be technologically advanced or successful? Most societies that get advanced kind of get rid of, like, the idea of trial by combat and shit.
I mean, there's a lot of shit in this movie that an advanced society would leave behind. There's a dude that
like battle rhinos.
Well, yeah. There's a dude that serves on the inner council of Wakanda or whatever that would probably have trouble talking because he's got a giant fucking 16-inch plate in his lip. And every time he's in the goddamn, like, in the scene, I'm just like, what's that guy doing here? What's Plate Lip doing here? What's he adding? I don't know. But there's a lot of things about Wakanda that make absolutely no sense. Its entire existence makes no sense, to be completely honest with you.
Someone said, I thought Killmonger was the best part of the movie by far. The rest was kind of bland. Explain to me how he wasn't bland.
I don't know how that landed for you. It didn't land at all for me. It was just kind of lame. I don't know.
I mean, I thought his backstory was maybe a little bit interesting. But him as a character was pretty fucking bland. I mean, there was a thing where you thought he had some sort of a romance going with this girl, but then someone tries to use her as a human shield and he just shoots through her. So obviously he didn't give a shit about her. And I thought maybe that would be explained at some point. No. It wasn't. He doesn't. I mean, he just. Like, his motivation makes no sense, because on one hand, he's kind of like, we need justice for my people, so he kind of seems like he has almost sort of a good reason for doing what he wants to do. He's like, you know, Wakanda can right the injustices of the world, but at the same time, he wants to go around killing people and shit, so...
It's not even the injustices of the world, it's the injustices specifically to black people.
Right. That's like what he's trying.
That's what he's trying to do. So his idea is that he's going to become the king of Wakanda, gain control of all of this Wakandan technology that nobody else has, and then give it to black people so that they can fight their oppressor. I don't really understand this plan. You're going to give a vibranium gun to every black person in the world? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to quote-unquote liberate black people from Wakanda. It doesn't seem like a plan that would work out very well. But that is...
Especially since we saw Wakandans at one point in the movie get their asses handed to them by a bunch of dudes with clubs.
That is true.
So... You know, just hope Whitey don't have no clubs laying around.
Yeah, the club tribe comes down out of the mountains, and despite all of the technology, the Wakandans, they just get their asses beat by a bunch of...
Marshall Manson says we're racist. Some other dude said we share bariatric diapers. Just wanted to
throw
that out there.
Cool. We share them?
Yeah, we share them.
Okay.
It's pretty gross.
That is really gross. So yeah, Wakanda is kind of and you know, it's a superhero movie, so there's going to be fantastical elements and stuff, but when they make its existence so central to the film, you really have to start asking yourself, like, how would this even be possible? Wakanda is a super rich, super technologically advanced nation hidden in the poorest continent on the planet, surrounded by abject poverty and nothingness, and nobody's trying to get into it. You know what I mean? No tribe of people has walked into Wakanda and discovered it. Somehow they keep everybody out, and it's a secret to everybody in the goddamn world. In the modern age, that makes no sense. They've got this big hologram that makes it look like a fucking, you know, rainforest.
Someone in the chat asked me, what villain is rational, TJ? How about the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming? His motive made complete sense. I mean, it was pretty obvious that why he was doing what he was doing. I mean, most villains... Not a lot of these Marvel comic book villains, but that's kind of why the Marvel Cinematic Universe hasn't turned up too many good villains, because usually their motives don't make sense. And as far as this one goes, I mean, he was just kind of cookie cutter. Like, you know, he wanted to rule the world. Like every other fucking Marvel villain wants to rule the world. You know, I'm going to be king of Wakanda. Wakanda's going to be the ruler of the earth. Therefore, I'll be ruler of the earth. I mean, like... It's just your typical cliche comic book movie villain motivation with a little bit of black power bullshit thrown in. So.
I mean, I think he was a better presence in the film than T'Challa was, honestly.
I mean, but...
That's not saying a whole lot.
Who wasn't?
Yeah.
Who wasn't?
I mean, the bald black lady that follows him around, the warrior general of Wakanda... She was pretty cool. I mean, one of the sad things about this film is that there's not a lot of action in it. For a Marvel superhero film, there's not a whole lot of action going on in Black Panther, which is pretty sad. You get this pretty cool action sequence early on in the film. where they're kind of chasing down the weird South African guy. And then after that, it's a bunch of political intrigue and a bunch of nonsense, a couple of fist fights between T'Challa and other people, but it's really not a big action film. And the final action scene is one of the most disappointing climaxes. I think.
My God, so bad. There was that. I mean, like, there was a cool car chase midway through the film.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That was a good one, but I mean, like, that was the only thing that shut that. Okay, hold on. Killmonger is interesting because he has burn mark for every man he killed. Killmonger almost has as many body burns as TJ and Paul have fat folds.
Wow,
I mean, this is a pretty. I mean, that could be a cool element of him if he himself were interesting. I don't think that is a problem. I mean, I don't think that makes him interesting.
One of the ways to make that interesting and to introduce it as a concept without just expository dialogue, which is how they do it in this movie, by the way. He just goes, I burn one burn for every kill. Instead, they could have just shown him doing it. Show him kill somebody, and then show him make a new mark, make a new burn, and then show his whole body covered in them. You know what I mean? Great scene. Conveys everything you need to do. Probably would have been easier to do than what they did, but whatever. They decided to just have him go, yeah, man, why is my body all weird and covered with burns? Well, I put a burn there for everybody that I kill. Well, thanks for explaining yourself, villain. I love it.
Some people are talking about the CG and the special effects. Very middle of the road.
Damn, you guys act like it was the worst movie ever. No, it wasn't the worst movie ever. But
not even the worst one we've seen together. But
nope.
I mean, we've watched some really terrible shit. But man, I would say it's below mediocre. I mean, it's just bad.
It's definitely below mediocre when you compare it to its compatriots in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Because I expect a baseline level of competence from a Marvel movie. Like, maybe I'm just getting fatigued with these. I think that's probably at play here, but I mean, also it's just like, whoa. I mean, this just doesn't even make that baseline level of competency that I expect from a Marvel film.
Yeah, I know that that's a factor in my feelings on this movie and any other movie that comes out from Marvel. I am way beyond fatigued with the superhero concept now. So
the movie was super racist. Do you agree? No, I don't really think it was racist. In fact, if anything, it was a little bit too conciliatory towards white people. Like, it almost was insulting to me. Like, they felt the need to throw in some white hero, too.
Yeah.
As, like, a token. They had the Martin Freeman or whatever the fuck.
Played Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, I didn't need him. You know, I mean, like, I didn't want him. I didn't need him. Look, there's plenty of movies with white heroes I can go watch. I don't need you to shoehorn in some white guy for me to relate to.
His character was totally unnecessary, and the way that he was interjected into the plot made absolutely no sense. Totally fucking off topic for the film. He's just brought to Wakanda, which is something that never happens because nobody can know about Wakanda. And they, for a medical procedure, because he's almost going to die, and the only way they can save him, I guess, is to fly him to fucking Wakanda. So they do it, and they save him. But instead of keeping him sedated and then ushering him out so he doesn't know where Wakanda is, they just let him wake up and explain everything about Wakanda to him. And he's like a CIA agent, so it's like the worst dude that you could tell. Like, if there's one dude you don't want to tell a fucking secret to about where your fucking country is located with its advanced technology that everybody will want, it's a CIA agent.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I mean, like, I was just, like, shocked. I mean, like, I understood the reason for saving the guy. Hype for Ant-Man and the Wasp? No. I understood their reason for saving him because he just saved, you know, T'Challa's fucking girlfriend, on again, off again girlfriend.
Yeah, he took a bullet for her.
So, you know, he felt indebted to the guy, so he wanted to save him. That makes sense to me. But you're trying to keep Wakanda a fucking secret, so could you just keep him under? Keep him under. You know, take him to fucking Wakanda, fix him up, keep him fucking asleep. And then afterwards, toss him in a fucking alley somewhere so you wake up and be like, what the fuck happened?
He's a terrible sidekick hero too, because he's not really good in anything. He's not a superhero. He's not a good fighter. He's just a dork. He looks like a desk job guy at the CIA.
Well, he's a good pilot.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember?
right. Oh yeah, because he flies the thing.
You think some websites are skewing ratings for this film? I think a lot of people are just scared to give it the negative review that it probably deserves.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit that like some of the things that I want to talk about when it comes to Wakanda, I'm probably not going to say because I'm going to be called out as being a racist dude. But that's kind of the environment around this film. That's the air around this film right now. If you don't like it, it's because it was a movie about black people made for black people, and that's absolutely not the case. There have been tons of important movies made with nothing but black people in them, expressly speaking to black people. I mean, the one that pops to my head right off the bat is Boys in the Hood. That's a fucking phenomenal movie, an important movie for black people, a movie with nothing but black people in it. And this just doesn't measure up to that. And it's being painted that way, as if it's some big cultural thing. Like, fucking, for fuck's sake, black families are putting dashikis on. Like, this is some kind of big event in their lives that this movie came out. And I just don't understand how. And I can understand how those other films, they're very important black films, do stand out.
Hold on. So what you guys are saying is this movie totally warranted all the racial hatred for one another it's garnered on Twitter. Oh, yeah. Totally worth it.
I mean, there is some pretty incendiary bullshit. Like, there's a really ham-fisted line at the end of the film when Killmonger dies, where T'Challa goes, he stabbed him, and he goes, we can take you and we can save you. And he goes, so you can do what? Lock me up? Hell no. Bury me in the ocean with all my ancestors that jumped off the slave ships because they knew death was better than bondage. That's how he goes out. It's one of the fucking most lame, forced moments from a villain that I've ever seen.
Not to mention, didn't even make sense from the perspective of his character because his lineage was from Wakanda. So his ancestors weren't slaves.
Yeah,
his ancestors were sitting around in a golden city while other people's ancestors were slaves.
Yeah.
So it didn't even make fucking sense. And also it was just a hammy fucking feel bad about being white kind of line.
So let's talk about this final...
Hold on, I just wanted
we got
a $5 and a $10 super chat here, so I wanted to take a look at these real quick. Fuck Black Panther. Best movie of the year is The Incredibles. Second, maybe Deadpool. You two bitches are awesome, though. I don't think The Incredibles has come out yet.
And neither has the Deadpool sequel.
Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense. But okay, thanks for the $5. It was basically an alt-right movie for black people with an ethno-state that isolates itself, doesn't take refugees, and is proud of their culture and ancestors. I mean, I've heard that meme, but if you actually watch the movie, not really.
Yeah.
Because... both the villain and the hero kind of realize that this isolationist shit with Wakanda has to end. It's just one of them wants to conquer the world. The other one is like, no, we just need to start helping the world. Right. We need to start sharing our resources. We need to start sharing our technology with the rest of the earth.
Which is one of the biggest glaring flaws with Wakanda. So at least it's addressed in the movie in some way, shape, or form. Like the fact that Wakanda has all these riches and that you walk 1 mile outside of Wakanda and people are literally starving to death with flies all over their body. Like, it doesn't make sense that they would be able to isolate themselves and fucking sleep at night.
Yeah, and basically when T'Challa takes the fucking throne, one of the first things he does after his adventures, he realizes, no, we can't be isolationist. We can't just say that this is ours and ours alone. We need to fucking be a better part of the global community and view all of humanity as one tribe. That's his big closing inspirational speech. How it really relates to anything in the movie that preceded it, I don't know. But for some reason, that's the closure point.
Yeah. Speaking of the closure point, let's dissect for them a little bit this final action scene battle and hit some of the highlights. So there's a big showdown at the end of the movie. This other dude, Killmonger, has taken the throne. Everybody thinks that he's killed T'Challa, but of course T'Challa was not killed. And he comes back, and because he's not dead, the trial is still going. So there's this big battle at the end between T'Challa and his group and the king and his group, and alliances shift during it. It sounds like a cool setup for a battle, but it is absolutely just ruined by several different major factors. The absurdity of Wakanda really shines through in this last action scene because it makes no sense. Okay, there are people in ceremonial Maasai warrior robes, right, with the big blanket draped over their arms and shit, and they have made Wakandan Maasai warrior robes that double as laser shields. And there's nothing technological on them or anything. They don't look, they're just a blanket that when you hold it up, it becomes a giant fucking shield. And it's one of the most absurd things, seeing people dressed in these ceremonial robes, which even the people that wore them wouldn't have wore them to battle. And they're running around with shields on a blanket on their arm. At one point, war rhinos, horrible CGI nightmare war rhinos, come charging in. And the question has to be asked, why does Wakanda maintain a small army of armor-plated war rhinos? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? They come charging in the final battle. It's absurd. A dude toots on a horn. He crawls up on a rock and goes... and a fucking bunch of CGI war rhinos come charging into the goddamn battle. And it's Black Panther versus Killmonger versus the bald bitches with spears versus all the different plate-lipped warrior tribes of Wakanda. And they're all duking it out. And you'd think it would be cool, but it's one of the lamest, most plotting action sequences that you've ever fucking seen. The CGI in it is silly as fuck. At the end, T'Challa and his group are saved from utter annihilation by a bunch of savage dudes with clubs. No lasers, no technology, no Maasai war blankets, just a big stick. Three of them show up and swing the tide of the battle. It's just horrible. It's horribly conceived.
Can we talk too about how bad the final fight was between Black Panther and fucking Killmonger at the end? I mean, it just wasn't memorable. They didn't. To me, a good fight sequence has to incorporate the environment in really interesting ways, and it just didn't. They just kind of fucking stand around throwing punches at each other. They fall on these train tracks that maybe you think, okay, they're going to do something cool with the tracks. They don't. They just kind of keep fighting on the tracks, okay.
Well, here's the thing. The whole thing is when they're... Oh, go ahead.
The "Don't scare me, colonizer" quote is pretty racist, because that definitely...
Isn't accepted, blah, blah, blah.
Let me just... Yeah. I mean, I didn't find it to be racist. I wasn't offended.
I wasn't looking for things to be offended by in this movie, and I didn't find any.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sitting there man, I can't... let's see if this movie is going to offend me somehow, and it didn't, so...
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this movie is shitty has absolutely nothing to do with its politics. They could have made a movie with the same politics as this movie that was better. It's just shoddy filmmaking. It's bad action sequences, too little action, too much plotting, insignificant dialogue, too many insignificant characters that could have been whittled down to focus more on the main characters, especially T'Challa, who I leave this film knowing even less about, I feel, than I knew about him from the previous movies he's appeared in. So, you know what I mean? It's almost like they avoided... developing his character at all costs. He starts one way, he kind of ends the same way. The only real revelation he has is that Wakanda should help people, which is kind of what his character was about anyway, because he's going out into the world and helping people. So I don't know. I don't really see a whole lot of growth, change, no real lessons learned in the film.
For me, I mean, you could have made the film way more explicitly fuck whitey, black power, and fix those problems, and I would have enjoyed it more.
There were a few little digs in that direction, but I didn't feel like that it was overt in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying I'm at the point where it could have been it could have just been a total fuck whitey, black power forever kind of movie.
Right.
And I still would have liked it better if it actually fixed those problems.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it had a better villain, if it had a better protagonist, if it had better action sequences and more of them, if it had less plotting, terrible, repetitive dialogue, weird dream sequences that make no sense. At one point, T'Challa, a couple of points in the movie, T'Challa goes to the dream world to walk around with his dead father and talk about things, and it's just never a welcome sequence because it doesn't really add anything to the film. I don't know, dude. I mean, like I said, the politics of this movie are pretty obvious, but they have nothing to do with why it's bad. I mean, the fucking South African guy is overtly kind of racist. He calls Wakandans savages. He's like, oh, this technology's wasted on them savages. He, explicitly refers to them that way. So there's clearly a racial agenda.
Sure. I mean, obviously, but it wasn't really pushed that hard, and it could have been pushed harder in a better movie, and I probably wouldn't even have cared. Because, I mean, whatever. I mean, I can watch a movie that has politics different than mine and still be like, okay, that's a good movie.
Is Black Panther even the coolest black superhero?
Not even close.
Blade
would
runs
kick the
away with it,
shit
right?
out of fucking Black Panther. Even as shitty as Spawn was, I'd probably put Spawn over this.
As a character concept, for sure.
Yeah.
Movie Spawn would, I don't know, dude.
I don't know,
I
man.
wouldn't put him up against a fucking wet paper bag.
I don't know, man. He had that cape was pretty cool for the time. CG looks really bad now, but I don't know. I got into that shit a little bit when I was a kid. What's this? We got a $10 motherfucker. I'm here.
I meant when they come out. Didn't think I had to explain, or maybe you did it on purpose, so I donate again. Wait, just went over the $5 limit. Now I got to donate 10. Damn, you neckbeards win again.
I don't even understand what the fuck they're talking about.
It was that previous one where he was talking about how Deadpool was he was saying.
Oh, when they come out?
It's his, he was predicting.
Okay, but you haven't seen them yet, so you don't know that. Those movies could both.
He was just prognosticating, TJ.
Okay.
He was just going. He was doing the Babe Ruth shot call. He was going fucking Deadpool and Incredibles, best movies of the year. Boom.
Okay, maybe you'll be right. I don't know. No, but I mean, I Blade though for sure, definitely cooler than T'Challa. And
you know what the coolest thing about Blade is that there's really none of that bullshit politics. He just is a badass, and the fact that he's black is completely secondary to the plot.
You could write Blade as any color; it would still work.
But I mean, the fact that he's a black dude is cool to me because
Sure.
like I said, it is something that you don't see a whole lot of, like main story black superheroes in a serious role.
Yeah,
we've seen comedic ones in the past, but really, Blade and Black Panther are all we get.
Yeah, we got Spawn, but that sucked. We got Steel with Shaquille O'Neal, but that's just an insult.
I mean, let's not even. Oh yeah, and then fucking what's that one with Will Smith?
Hancock or Hancock or
Hancock.
Like yeah, I mean that was all right. Old Black Green Lantern was also better. Maybe they should make him a thing.
Yeah, bring him back. Bring back the Black Lantern, dude.
Black Lantern. But unfortunately, I don't know. Black Panther, I would not recommend watching it. Even knowing I had to come back here and do a review of it, I almost wanted to just walk out. I mean, I was just kind of like, man, I'm just going to go out in the parking lot and smoke a couple.
Yeah, the end is, because you kind of know what's coming. Like, you want it to just end and be like, okay, there's your movie, but it's got to do the whole, fucking he kisses the ex-girlfriend and gets back with her.
Even though they shared zero chemistry.
Well, that's him with everybody in the movie.
Yeah.
And he needs chemistry with every major principal character in the movie, and he just has none. I never believe that he has the chemistry to pull off. Because that dude, the Gorilla Tribe guy, the guy with the clubs that shows up at the end.
Yeah.
He convinces him to join his cause in a roundabout way. And in the beginning of the movie, that fucking gorilla dude fucking hates him. And there's really, you don't really believe why that relationship would change because there's just no chemistry between them at all.
There's no chemistry between him and anybody. And I don't know if it's the actor's fault. I don't think it is, honestly. I think it's just a really blandly written character that you really can't do much with, especially when you're expected to carry a movie. You want a meatier fucking role than that. You want a character who has some fucking actual characteristics beyond just okay, here's your motivation. You're black. Go. It's that's it. Okay. It sucks. It's not worth your time. It's not worth anyone's time. It's definitely not worth putting on your fucking dashiki for and taking a picture.
Leave your dashiki in the closet. Don't pull it out for this.
All right, hold on. Goddamn, I love you guys, but holy shit, I completely disagree with a lot on so many points, and I agree on others, but limited text isn't efficient to convey this. Not great for point counter. I agree. Hey, we're just giving our opinion here. If you watch the movie and you have another experience, a different kind of experience, that's great. More power to you, but I mean, we gotta call it like we sees it, and we just didn't like it. I mean, I could tell pretty early on in the movie that Paul was feeling the same way as I did. We weren't talking to each other, but like we both kind of have this thing. I think a lot of people do when you're watching a movie that you really don't like, and you just kind of hear the person go.
Yeah, the heavy sigh gives it away for me every time. You'll never hear that come out of me if I'm engaged by a movie.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. You don't hear the.
Or there'll be like another thing me and TJ both do is like we'll kind of giggle at inappropriate times in the movie.
Yeah,
something will strike us as funny. If there's a really shitty movie going on,
Rhinos definitely made us laugh.
Oh yeah, dude, I started busting a gut around the right. And there was a black lady in there that was super into this movie though.
Yes, she was.
She was like, "Oh my god, no, yes, oh girl, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah." And I was like, "Damn, all right, well she's getting it."
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe we're just the wrong color to get the movie.
Maybe our lack of blackness really does kind of fucking keep us from seeing the brilliance of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if I was black and I'd grown up in America with the black experience or whatever, and I watched this movie, I'd be like, you know what? Holy shit, finally. But as a fucking lame-ass white dude, I thought it sucked.
Yep.
Sorry. I thought it fucking sucked. I don't know if there's much more to say, if anything. It's just not that good.
No. I guess we can wait around for a couple of seconds here and let the chat ask some quick questions.
If you guys want to, I'll go ahead and make this a little bit larger. Maybe I'll just put it where this poster is here. If you want to ask us some stuff, we'll stick around and answer a few Super Chats and Streamlabs up in here. I'll just go ahead and make this, like, big.
Chat asked if we held hands. No, that would have been gross because we had butter popcorn, so it just would have been all like slimy with
What
butter.
is it with that place and giving us this old ass fucking popcorn too?
I'm never gonna get it there again, dude. Every fucking time I get it, it's stale as shit. Like it's 2 days ago popcorn from the trash bag, you know?
Yeah, fuck you. Give us some fresh fucking popcorn, you assholes.
Especially since it's a place that like serves you at your seat, so they charge like more than your usual. Like when you get a bucket of popcorn delivered to your seat, it costs more because you got a tip for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So bring me some good popcorn.
If I'm paying that premium fucking price, you better bring me some popcorn that just came out the goddamn popper. And that shit's like cheap as fuck. There's no way there's $9 worth of popcorn in that goddamn bucket, so at least bring it to me fresh.
The Amazing Atheist TJ Kirk is a racist situation and hates blacks. Video by Butt King.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll probably happen.
Was the film a weighty, dramatic think piece?
No.
No, I think
it's pretty much the opposite of that.
It wanted to be weighty, but it was just dumb. It wanted to be a think piece, but the only thing it makes you think is, I want to get the fuck out of here.
I guess it was dramatic at some points. So there you go.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I dramatically wanted to leave. So yeah, that's how I felt. Now, I mean, if it inspires thought in you, best, whatever, have fun with that. But for me, no. The only thing it made me think was I got to get the fuck out of this theater as soon as possible.
Yeah, we just need to stop going there. There really ain't no I mean, I guess just convenience is the only reason because it's pretty close to us.
Yeah. I mean, well, it wasn't. The theater wasn't the reason I wanted to leave, but the movie sucked.
Well, I'm still stewing about that stale popcorn.
Yeah,
man.
It's bullshit.
I'm still on that shit.
If we ever do that again, and they bring us some stale ass popcorn, we just push the button and be like, "Hey, this popcorn sucks." Go get
Maybe that'll be this segment now. We'll just call it stale popcorn.
Stale popcorn. Yeah, that was bullshit. I'm tired of them serving us that stale shit. Next time, I'm gonna press the button and be like, "Hey, this popcorn fucking sucks. Bring us."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I should have done that, man. I lack the balls.
I'll do it because I don't care.
Yeah, you do it.
It's just
next
like
time.
at Waffle House. We went to Waffle House before we went to the fucking movie, and they brought Paul like these fucking. He ordered scrambled eggs. They brought him over medium, and I'm like, "Excuse me, he was supposed to get scrambled." And Paul's like, "No, that's all right. Please, don't trouble yourself." It's like, man,
it's eggs though.
Would your opinion change if it had the Queen Borg, TJ? It's the Borg Queen, not the Queen Borg. So first of all, you're a retard. Thanks for the $5, but you're a retard. And second of all, no. Adding one decent character to an otherwise shitty movie does not tend to make the movie good. Now, sometimes it can boost it a little bit, but I don't think so. I don't think that would have fucking made the difference for me.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know what role you'd have for the Borg Queen in Black Panther anyway. So, everyone tell TJ happy birthday. That's true. My birthday is in 3 hours.
Holy fucking shit, dude.
So hey, if you guys want to give me some birthday fucking Streamlabs and super chats, that'd be cool too.
Oh wow, dude.
Yeah, I'll go there. I don't give a shit. I was only born one day out of the year, so.
That is true.
And I can play that card all the time. The movie needed more Frollo. No. It doesn't need... Look, what the movie needed was to write the characters that were already in it well. Especially fucking Black Panther himself, because he sucked. I mean, he was just a bland character. I mean, Paul, tell me a character trait of T'Challa. Or T'Challa.
He's,
Without describing his appearance, tell me something about him.
T'Challa is, I don't know, he's good at, like, karate.
So that's a character trait.
No.
Tell me something about his personality, Paul.
Something about his personality.
He's
kind of
stoic.
Would you say stoic?
I'd say maybe a little stoic. Happy birthday. Your mic is cutting out occasionally. Sorry about that. I think it's the compressor. Does the Queen Lady show her tits? Well, it's PG-13, so you can probably figure that out on your own.
Yeah, one would think.
Probably piece that together based on the movie's fucking rating, I would imagine. I can't think of anything. Like, stoic is just kind of a nice way of saying boring, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's boring. Just like the movie is fucking boring. I mean, what character trait does he have beyond just being a bore? He's not, like, arrogant. He's not brash. He's not, funny. He's not any of those things. Just seems like he's always at that baseline emotion of, like, I'm just kind of me.
Yeah.
You never.
I'm really racking my brain trying to think of something other than stoic to say about the guy.
Red Letter Media is so much better than this lazy tripe. Well, then go watch that, you stupid faggot.
Yeah. What are you doing over here on the Lazy Tripe channel?
Don't
you have some Red Letter Media dick to be sucking on? Go swing from their balls on their channel. I always love that shit. I always love that shit. Like, you're over here, like, putting a pair of eyeballs on our content, so thanks, fuckstick.
Stupid fuck. Go watch Red Letter Media. Have fun. I mean, they are good. No doubt about it. Black Panther doesn't even know the way. Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. I think that signals the death of this stream.
This is over now. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
That's our review. That's our discussion of Black Panther. If you guys agree or disagree, or you think we made some points that were good or bad, let us know in the comments. Obviously, it's kind of hard in the chat that's going, but once this is just posted, you could probably write out a long fucking screed about why we're wrong, why we're right, what we're wrong about, what we're right about, all that stuff. And just thanks for tuning in. For those of you who like this movie, sorry that we couldn't see the appeal, I guess. And for those of you who agree and that it sucks, good on you. Good on you for seeing through the bullshit.
We're just not black enough, TJ.
Just not black enough. Not black.